Mr. Watchell.
Roll call. Toth.
Here.
Oberdorf. Eckel.
Here.
Tinney.
Here.
Owen. Here. Heben. Reynolds.
Motion to excuse Councilman Heben.
Second.
All those in favor of excusing Councilman Heben, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Motion
Move to
to
excuse Councilman Oberdorf.
Need a second.
Rachel.
Oh, second,
I
I'm
didn't-
sorry.
I
Did
didn't
not
hear
say
you.
it loud enough, I'm sorry.
All those in favor of excusing Councilman Oberdorf, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
motion to excuse Councilman Reynolds.
Second.
All those in favor of excusing Councilman Reynolds, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay, is there a motion to approve the minutes for the April 14th, 2025 regular council meeting?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor of approving the minutes from April the 14th, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Abstain.
Oh, I should abstain.
Is there a motion to approve the agenda for the April,
Mayor,
I'm sorry?
I got a text, there's no live stream. Okay, I'm sorry, Mayor.
It's going.
Okay.
Going, okay. Is there a motion to approve the agenda for the April 28th, 2025 regular council meeting?
I need to add Public Works Committee meeting minutes, and we have Finance and Insurance meeting minutes,
Yep.
both.
So you're moving to accept the agenda as amended?
Yes.
Second.
All those in favor of accepting the agenda as amended, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay, committee reports. Recreation?
I'll read it for Larry.
Okay.
Rossford Parks and Recreation Committee met on 4/14/25. In attendance were Toby Ledesma, Larry Oberdorf, Brenna Reynolds, and Dan Wilburn. Meeting called to order at 5:15. New employees. The Recreation Department has recently hired Kathy Schelt as its new office manager. It is also working with Denny Foy as a senior liaison. He is currently looking for applicants for projects for the CHIP program. Capital improvement projects. Mr. Ledesma provided updates on some capital improvement projects, including the kitchen and flooring upgrades are finalizing planning and will be scheduled soon. The security system is wired and cameras, monitors are going up soon. Project will be complete by the end of the month. Payment has been submitted for the new playground at Beach Street and will be a midsummer install. Programs. ESSL soccer games have started. Little Pup soccer games have begun. Softball has a team in each age group, and practice has begun. Coach pitch and T-ball registration is open. Little League football and cheerleading registration is open. Egg hunt. Egg hunt was held on 4/12 and had a great turnout. The department was able to raffle off 21 baskets to the kids. Adult Softball League, there's a 6-team co-ed softball team that will play at Veterans Memorial Park on Sunday evening starting May 11th. Rules have been put in place to help limit the number of over-the-fence home runs. Eagle Scout Project. The board looked at initial plans for an Eagle Scout project, which is a tool shed that can be added to the garden boxes at Brunn's Tot Lot. Community events. The Recreation Center will be closed on 5/6 for voting. The Recreation Department is partnering with Cedar Creek Church for their Serve Day on 7/26. Riverfest is planned for 8/16. Meeting adjourned at 5:50.
Okay, any comments or questions? All right, Public Works.
Public Works meeting minutes. Wednesday, April 2nd, 2025, 5:30 PM. Mark G. Zukowski, Safety Planning and Zoning Annex. In attendance, Allison Murray, Caroline Zukowski-Echo, Bob Toth, Zach Owen, Andy Langenderger, and Austin, I forgot to put his last name in, sorry, Austin, both from Tetra Tech. The meeting began with Allison providing a history of how the State Route 65 and Glenwood Roundabout developed. Tetra Tech answered questions. Zach Owen asked about a speed table and a designated school crossing. Caroline Zukowski-Echo was concerned about the loss of 14 parking spaces that won't be replaced until after all of the downtown phases are done, likely in 5 years. Tetra Tech said that we can put in angled parking between Bacon and Bergen on both sides to keep the same number of spots as part of this roundabout project. The estimate is $2,575,000 with a $448,000 grant from TMCOG, a $487,500 grant from OPWC. The city portion will be from the TIF in the amount of $1,639,500. Currently, there's $4 million in the TIF fund. Kevin Heeman advised that the TIF funds can be used on anything that provides traffic access to the crossroads. Allison said she will provide this information to the committee. The Public Works Committee will be using the May and June meetings to review the streets evaluation and plan for the next 5-year paving plan. Fire station renovation, sleeping quarters update. We received approval from the building inspector, and approximately 1 month of construction is left. Public Works moved to Wales Road. Ads will run April 12th and 26th. Bids open on May 6th. Demolition of Indian Hills. Ads run March 24th and April 12th. Bids open on April 21st. Maryland Drive, construction to begin first week of June. Bergman is the contractor. I don't have the other page.
Okay. I only got the one page.
Okay.
It's up there, Caroline.
It's up on the thing.
Oh, Rinker Court ad runs April 5th through the 19th, open April 28th. The committee and Tetra Tech discussed options for Rinker Court because of the small space, difficulty of construction, and low traffic flow. Tetra Tech to provide a cost for concrete road versus asphalt. 2025 street plan, Hillcrest, Riverside, full depth reconstruction. Maryland Drive drainage, mill fill to start around June 3rd. Rinker Court, mill fill or concrete. Rest of Schreier between Lime City and Maybar. Riverview above Vets Park, and the alley restoration will all be mill and fill. ODOT project number, Bergen Street and Superior Roundabout project to start in May of 2026. ODOT project number, Buck and Glenwood Roundabout, also to be in May of 2026. ODOT project number, Lime City 795 widening project will be in May of 2027. Hannum sidewalks should be replaced sometime this summer, and hotels on Clark Sign is going out for bid. The significance of putting those project numbers on there is that when ODOT assigns them a project number, it's like the project is real and alive and in the queue.
Okay. Any comments or questions? Finance and Insurance?
House Finance and Insurance Committee met April 8th, 2025. In attendance, Zachary Owen, Rachel Tinney, Chris Heben, Allison Murray, Chris Kirk, Police Chief Todd Kitzler, and Fire Chief Richard Soroka. The meeting called to order at 5:15 p.m. First item was full-time fire department expansion. Chief Soroka stated that he would like to add 4 additional full-time firefighters added to the roster. The net additional cost would be $166,115.04, and is fundamentally only the cost of insurance and retirement. The committee agreed that adding full-time personnel was recommended at this time. Police Interdiction Officer. Chief Kitzler presented moving current patrolman to a full-time interdiction officer. Figures for the last 3 years show a net collection of $908,000, as well as numerous pounds of illicit drugs and firearms removed from our community. The committee agreed that based on the already stellar success of a part-time officer, the move to make the interdiction officer a full-time position was warranted at this time. Chief noted that this would be evaluated over time, and if we find the position is no longer providing the function as intended, it could be removed in the future. Meeting adjourned at 5:45 p.m.
Any comments or questions? Okay, report of the mayor and city administrator. I'll reserve my comments till after Allison gives us the Wood County Economic Development video presentation, and then following that, she will give us the state of the city.
Yep, and I have one quick announcement that the rec center will be closed on May 6th due to voting. So I wanted to remind everybody of that. And this is the video from Wood County Economic Development, and they actually are 30 years old this year, so get this on. don't have any sound.
Or the TV, is the TV volume on?
To WSOS, and he said the Private Industry Council has JTPA funding to be able to.
Start it from the beginning.
Well, the seeds of what eventually grew into the Wood County Economic Development Commission started 40 years ago. Al Baldwin sent me over to Fremont to talk to Neil McCabe, who was the vice president of WSOS, and he said the Private Industry Council has JTPA funding to be able to create an economic development network for Wood County to eventually build some expansion for businesses that are there. Do you want to do that? And I said, yeah, I'll give it a try. And sure enough, I find out from the Ohio Department of Development in 1985 that the three pillars of economic development, from their point of view, were global investment, workforce development, and quality of life. And that was pretty much what I told Mr. Zanoli at the Private Industry Council that I was into. So I picked up the ball and started running with it. I teamed up with the Bowling Green State University Department of Continuing Education. So I had put together a number of, we called them workshops, to publicize economic development incentive programs that the state of Ohio had that would help businesses expand. And the purpose was to try to identify co-beneficiaries of the economic development process. This, for example, would be a bank that would want to loan money to a business to expand, a construction company that would want to help a business build a 1 million square foot factory, a real estate broker that would want to sell 50 acres to a company that's putting up a big factory. And these were people that, if we did a good job of economic development, they'd make money off of it as well. In 1993, we got word that the Job Training Partnership Act money was going to run out. A couple of these co-beneficiaries came to me and said, hey, you're doing stuff here that's helping us. We want to help you now. What can we do to help you? So Ted Green, Paul Windish, and Bob Mack got together and they went to see the county commissioners and said, we're gaining off of this effort. Our clients are gaining off of this effort, but the county's been kind of getting a free ride off of it. And is there any way the county can put money into it? We'll put money into it from the private sector. So Marilyn Baker, who was the president of the county commissioners at the time, looked at me and said, Tom, you're a pretty creative guy. Can you look into this and see if there's some way, some mechanism that the county can put money into an economic development effort? So I said, yes, ma'am, Mrs. Baker. And I walked out of that room and I thought, how are we going to do this? And they created what was then known as the County Office of Economic Development. Eventually, a couple of years later, 1995, it incorporated as the Wood County Economic Development Commission, and that's why we're celebrating the 30th anniversary of it this year. But it was very gratifying. It literally started from nothing, convinced a few people it was something that was appropriate and successful, and they then became the champions of it and convinced the commissioners that it was a good thing, and it's just been flying ever since, and I'm very proud to see the progress that it's made since then.
What we focus on a lot here is, the bigger picture stuff, but it's specific to that kind of manufacturing industrial development. So we focus on kind of higher living wage type job creation. The idea being that that kind of job creation will then engender other development, including that retail, including that housing. Those will kind of come when you bring in those wages and those salaries and those families. One of the strengths of Wood County, obviously we have the interstate highway system, right? That's a huge benefit to us. It's also the infrastructure we have in terms of water and sewer. We have Lake Erie, right? We have an abundant supply of fresh water in the county. We have a lot of power in the county. They give us access to large amounts of power at minimal cost. And then we also have the advantage of rail. There are multiple rail lines, both CSX and Norfolk Southern across the county, that have access to rail points. To get that initial interest, you have to have the things they want, and Wood County has the things that a lot of companies want. Then it steps over to our end, to go out and land the project and kind of seal that deal.
The impact that Wood County Economic Development Commission is not only on companies that are here in Ohio and Wood County, but also with our organization. I know that I can depend on Wade and the Wood County team to bring me in for opportunities, and we all have the same mission, is to help companies create jobs, spend money here in Wood County, and grow the local economy. We've worked together for so long that we understand what each role needs and what organization needs.
The greatest thing that the Wood County Economic Development Commission has given Wood County was a collecting point for all the different stakeholders where folks can come together and work together toward common goal. I think we were known for that in Wood County, that we're a pretty friendly place to do business and execute projects because we work together. Well, we work together because of what the Wood County Economic Development Commission has created. We're able to capture some money, and especially for schools, so we can develop our schools, yet offer enough financial incentives for a company to live here. So I think many of the schools here have benefited greatly from the economic development, which transcends to our families, which I think that is a signature thing that we've brought to the table with the economic development.
The best thing from my perspective about the commission is it brings all parties together. They bring all the governments, they bring Port Authority, they bring the county, they bring schools into the equation. It's just been a pleasure to work in an environment where everybody's cooperative. The things that Tom and Wade have put in place work for everybody and makes it easy for them to do business here.
The quality of life for people in Wood County has been significantly improved by the Wood County Economic Development Commission, because when you have this vast tax base, it just lessens the burden of your taxes on maybe your residence or your farm or whatever the case may be, because there's such a substantial base. When you look at like $100 million plant or First Solar or FedEx Ground or Walgreens, income taxes can come and go, but when you put a building or a physical asset in the ground in Wood County, that's permanent, recurring tax income.
Through these programs, we've had tens of millions of dollars come into the district that we could use for things that we really needed. You're sitting in what is probably the nicest facility in Northwest Ohio, and that's all because of the abatement programs that we've run and that have grown throughout the years.
In the utility business, we dabble in economic development any given day of the week. There's projects that come in, they either need utilities or have a direction of a need, so we get involved either in the early siting or hopefully when it does land, we're part of the providers. But Wood County's been able to move quick and efficient, and the Economic Development Commission helps that happen. They have good focus, good idea of what our resources should be and could be, and it's just a matter of pulling them together to meet the goal.
I think the Wood County Economic Development Commission has certainly been instrumental in bringing business into the area and raising the standard of living for the workforce, and in addition have provided all kinds of opportunities for new businesses and different industries to move into our region. I think it's a regional impact that they've had, not just on just Wood County. I think there's a couple real gems here in the county, and one of them is the Penn County Vocational High School and One's Community College. They've provides us with a great pool of skilled talent in the machining trade that really enhances our ability to find good, qualified tradespeople.
We love being in Wood County. Many of our customers are within a couple miles of here, First Solar in particular. So a good part of our customer base is in Wood County, of course, and within our reach. And providing a good work environment without the hassles and the ease of doing business indirectly supports our team and their families, and certainly the quality of life.
The shovel-ready attitude that we offer these businesses that come into the area is very important. We have a very good workforce. We have people take good, solid, well-paying, stable jobs. We are very grateful to Wade in Wood County because of all the hard work he's put in and the development of businesses and making business from the attitude that he's projected in helping them.
First Solar is actually the largest U.S. headquartered solar manufacturer in Northwest Ohio. Is the home for our largest manufacturing base. We really focus on American solar, where we use not only American manufacturing, but an American supply chain as well, and we're very proud of that to be located here in Northwest Ohio. The Wood County Economic Development Organization has allowed us to make very easy decisions. They're very easy to work with, they're proactive, they're engaging, and they listen to what the businesses need. As we continue to grow and expand, we work with them on an ongoing basis to ensure that we have the right manpower, the right incentive structure. If it wasn't for them, I think that would have been much harder to make our decisions to stay and grow in Northwest Ohio.
I would say bringing in a thriving economic environment and lots of companies and lots of attractive jobs that aren't just paychecks, they're actually careers. So we're actually bringing in really, really important roles and things that matter a lot for the country. When you think about the development of the glass and solar industries that have happened here, I mean, we're leading the nation in those areas, and that's renewable energy is very important, not just for this county, for this state, for this city, for the country. We're seeing the types of jobs that we're bringing in here are really cutting edge. They're really things that are important that matter to the rest of the country, and people can develop and have careers here, not just jobs, but careers. And we've also got to be able to get people, and so we've got to be able to attract and make good decisions that are holistically impacted for all the companies to be successful. And so it's not just about, hey, we'll give you a place and some land and a cheap rate, and here's the gas. It's a big picture. How do you actually solve all your problems and successfully run a plant here, given all the competition that we have? It feels to me like there's a really good synergy with thinking about all those things and before you make a decision, so that we make sure that we're set up well for long-term success.
We have that public-private partnership, and that gives us a great insight into that, and it keeps kind of everybody on the same page in terms of working together and doing what's best for the county. The process is more streamlined, and we have a lot of attributes in the county, and having people that are knowledgeable and on the board that are involved in different industries and occupations really helps out too, to have all that insight, providing feedback.
I think the greatest thing about the Wood County Way is that we all work together. It is non-political. We're pro-business. We can pick up the phone and talk to each other and solve problems. And we are willing to do what we need to do as a group for the betterment of Wood County and for the betterment of our citizens.
Every project is unique. Every project brings its own set of challenges, its own set of people. Everything's always different. And so there's always that new challenge of how are we going to solve this particular issue. And Wood County is a great place to work. It's a great place to live. It's a great place to do business in. And one of the things we've always looked at in Wood County is we want to make it very business friendly, so that businesses want to be here. They want to, and that when they are here, they're going to be successful here. Because if they are, they'll continue to grow in your county. They'll continue to employ more people. They'll continue to make larger investments. And those are the kind of things that will lead ultimately to a successful county from an economic basis that allows our residents to have that high quality of life, which is really what our goal is.
It's amazing, the synergy that we have going forward and the excitement. It's something for you guys all to be very proud of, because you were a big part of it. Allison, would you like to give the state of the city now, please?
Thank you, Mayor, yes. So for 2025, the city of Rossford is doing amazing. We hear so many things on social media about what's wrong in Rossford. Tonight, I'm going to tell you about what's right. We just listened to Wood County Economic Development's video from the last 30 years and the importance of economic development, but lots of people don't understand, why is economic development important to the city of Rossford? Well, the reason that economic development is important is because it is what funds our general fund. And our general fund revenue is what pays for police, fire, and residential streets. So if the general fund revenues are increasing, that's more money that's coming in that we can spend on fire, police, and residential streets. So I'm a visual person, so here's a visualization of how that works. If we have one new business that has 500 employees that pay 2.25% income tax on an average of $80,000 annual salary, that's $900,000 to the city's general fund every year. Chief Soroka, what can you do with $900,000?
I can just about upgrade a new fire engine for the citizens of Rossford.
Here's another example. If we get 5 new businesses with 100 employees paying 2.25% city income tax on an average of $55,000 annual salary, because in Northwest Ohio, $55,000 a year is the average salary, that's $618,750 to the city's general fund every year. Chief, can you spend $618,000 a year?
We could upgrade another transfer unit for the citizens of Rossford.
So economic development is extremely important to the city of Rossford. Here's the great news in the city of Rossford. In the last 5 years, from 2020 to 2024, we've had an increase in general fund revenues that have nearly doubled. That's unheard of probably anywhere else in Northwest Ohio or in the state of Ohio. In 2020, going into COVID, the city's general fund revenue was just under $7 million. Last year, in 2024, it was $13.5 million. Another great example, during the time that Mayor McKinnon has been mayor, he took office in December of 2011, the general fund revenues have increased 165%. I doubt there's any other community in Ohio that can say the same. In 2011, our general fund revenues were just over $5 million. Last year, in 2024, they were $13.5 million. Rossford is a leader in economic development in Northwest Ohio. This 165% increase is a direct result of the city's economic development. In the last 5 years, the city has seen more than $250 million in new business investment. That includes Amazon, Danny's Cafe, Harmon Park, Murphy Tractor, Whiteford Kenworth, Capital Tire, Skinnell, and U-Haul. There's probably others out there that I've forgotten. In addition, the number of employees working for businesses here in the city of Rossford has nearly tripled. In 2020, there were 4,500 employees working within the city of Rossford and paying into city income tax. Today, it's more than 13,000. This makes the city of Rossford one of the fastest developing communities in Ohio. It's allowed our school district to excel, building the R, building a new school, and proposing lower millage. I ask you to look anywhere in the state of Ohio and see if they're doing similar. How did this happen? How did we have this great success in the last 5 years? Well, in January of 2020, I had an interview with Mayor McKinnon and other members of the city of Rossford. And at that time, Mayor McKinnon told me he had a vision to make the city of Rossford a leader in Northwest Ohio in economic development. And he was going to do that through being business friendly and ensuring that we had speed to market over every other community. He also said that we were ideally located, because of our geography, at the intersection of I-75, which is the longest north-south highway system in the United States, and 8090, the Turnpike, which is the longest east-west highway system in the United States. He had the support of not only this council, but 2 previous councils, and we've been able to see the success that we have seen, and we are well on our way to the mayor's vision. Who does this every day? Who's in charge of the city's operations? That would be the city administration. That's led by our mayor, Neil McKinnon. The members are Kevin Heben, our law director, Kent Murphy, our assistant law director, myself, the city administrator, Todd Audette, he does economic development for the city, Chris Kirk, our finance director, Todd Kitzler, the chief of police, Rick Soroka, our new fire chief, Toby Ledesma, the director of Parks and Rec, Daryl Igo, our new public works director, and Stephanie Kitzler, our human resources and communications coordinator. And speaking of Stephanie, she single-handedly spearheaded one of the best programs that we've recently added to the city of Rossford, which is our Veterans Banner Program. If you drive down State Route 65 in the Boulevard, you can see that we honor all our hometown heroes. Stephanie spearheaded this program. She reached out to the community. She solicits the first 40 applications every year. We put those up on the banners. We put them up shortly before Memorial Day. They run through Veterans Day, and then the next year, she solicits applications again. So if you're interested in a banner and honoring a member of your family that's from here in Rossford, please reach out to Stephanie Kitzler at the City of Rossford. Another star on our team is Chris Kirk, our finance director. For the last several years, the City of Rossford has been awarded the State of Ohio Auditors Award with Distinction. This award with distinction is awarded to less than 8% of the communities in Ohio, and it's presented for excellence in financial management and reporting. In order to be eligible for this award, you can have no findings notated in your annual audit, and yes, the city is audited by an outside auditor every year. So congratulations to Chris for doing a great job. Safety services in the city of Rossford. Well, you can't have looked at the news in the last 18 months and not have seen the City of Rossford Fire Department. The City of Rossford went through the painful experience of moving from a part-time volunteer model to a hybrid full-time model. The citizens of Rossford spoke very clearly that they wanted their own fire department. So today we have the only community of less than 7,000 citizens in the state of Ohio that has their own full-time hybrid fire department. In February, we welcomed Chief Rick Soroka. He brought with him Assistant Fire Chief Ron Kay and Battalion Chief Greg Yingling. And between those three gentlemen, they have more than 100 years of professional firefighting services. And it's clearly evident because you can now see our firefighters out training every day. You can see them out engaging in the community. On March 20th, we inducted the first full-time fire department employees in the city of Rossford history. The 8 full-time firefighters are Sean Bainey, Justin Ritchie, John Grieve, Colin Bainey, Mike Lord, Jacob Tweetmeyer, Alva Conger, Andrew White. And last council meeting, the city council approved an additional 4 full-time firefighters, and I think the chief is now interviewing for those positions. Rossford Fire Department responded to 1,318 calls for service in 2024, and the Rossford Fire Department 2025 budget will exceed $4 million. Rossford Police Department. The Rossford Police Department has the chief, Todd Kitzler, and our Lieutenant, Craig Revelle. We also have 20 other officers on the force. They reported 5,659 citizen-generated calls for service and 3,056 officer-generated calls for service in 2024. The Rossford Police Department does an outstanding job of working with our citizens and community involvement. They host the Rossford Citizens Police Academy, which if you haven't seen, you can actually attend the Citizens Police Academy on Wednesday nights from September through November, where you have the opportunity to shoot a taser, and one of the personnel that actually attend the Citizens Police Academy is actually tasered during that event. They also host the Cops and Bobbers program at Veterans Park, where in May and June, children from the Rossford community can go down and learn fishing skills with off-duty police officers, and they are also offered lunch. So the Rossford Police Department has a budget in 2025 of $3,400,000. The Public Works Department. I believe that Rossford has one of the most outstanding public works department in all of Northwest Ohio, and I can tell you how I know that. Because if I drive in from another community on a day that it has snowed, I can tell immediately when I get into Rossford because our streets are so well maintained. They take pride in their job. They do an outstanding job for the community. Daryl Igo is our new Public Works Director. We currently have 6 full-time employees. We'll be hiring a 7th in the 3rd quarter of 2025, so look for a Civil Service Commission testing date if you're interested in becoming a member of our Public Works Department. We currently have 2 seasonal openings, so if you're interested in seasonal work with our Public Works Department, please contact City Hall. And Public Works Department is in charge of maintaining all our city streets, our snow plowing, brine, salt, maintenance of the Rossford Marina, all grass mowing in all the public areas, and stormwater management throughout the city. City Hall and the zoning annex. Back in 2022, we had a wonderful thing happen at the city of Rossford. We outgrew our current building and we had to remodel the former annex at Eagle Point School into the Mark G. Sokowski Safety Planning and Zoning Annex, and it has worked out wonderfully. The municipal building staff is Administrative Assistant Sally Petraz, and we currently have an administrative assistant position open, to which we got over 30 applications. And we did do interviews, and we will be hiring someone in the next week and announcing that. The municipal building is open 8:30 to 5, Monday through Friday. And if you want to know, if you have questions on city projects or city events, if you want to know when the council meetings are, if you have questions on correspondence you received in the mail, if you have questions on the city's website, or you would like to do a public records request, please come see us at the municipal building at 133 Osborne Street. The Safety Planning and Zoning Annex is where Zoning Inspector Mark Zukowski sits, Administrative Assistant Jennifer Havner, and our new Code Compliance Officer, Rob McConowitz. The Safety Planning and Zoning Annex is open 8 to 4:30 Monday through Friday, and you go there if you have questions on zoning or you need a zoning permit, if you would like to rent a dock at the Rossford Marina, if you have questions or issues concerning trash, recycling, or yard waste, if you have concerns about nuisances, or if you have concerns or issues with planning and development, please contact them at Safety Planning and Zoning Annex located at 229 Eagle Point Road. The Rossford Recreation Center. I am always amazed that in a community of 6,400 that we can offer a 33,000 square foot recreational facility that is the caliber that the Rossford Recreation Center is. It's under the helm of Toby Ledesma, Parks and Recreation Director, and Alexa Owen, the Assistant Parks and Recreation Director. Matt Rice is our maintenance operator from the Rec Center, and Kathy Schell is our office coordinator. There are 12 part-time employees that operate the Rec Center. 4 full-time employees. It has 30,000 square foot recreational facility. It is available for rental. They offer 35 programs for kids and adults. They have a 2,500 square foot gymnasium that is also available for rental. They have 2 meeting rooms available for rental, and they offer spring break and summer camps for kids. A new addition this year at the Rossford Rec Center is our compliance officer, Denny Foy. He's been named a community liaison for our senior citizens here in Rossford. He works out of the Rec Center, assisting our seniors who may be having issues getting their lawn mowed, their snow shoveled, or have home repairs completed. So if you're a senior and you have some questions or concerns about any of those issues, please reach out to Denny Foy. He is down at the Recreation Center Monday through Thursday from 10 to 2. And all these outstanding individuals that I just mentioned, this is what they've been able to accomplish for the city of Rossford. Between 2020 and 2025, more than $20 million was allocated for paving and rebuilding the streets and roads in Rossford. So that started out back in 2020 during the thick of COVID with the Colony. Then we did South Colony, Eagle Point Road, Vineyard and Gross, Dimeling, Lime City from the railroad tracks to State Route 65, Hawthorne Lane, Wales Road, Helen Drive, Eleanor Avenue, Central Avenue, Hillview Drive, Lime City, East Elm Tree, Windsor Drive, Dimeling Road, Glenwood Road. We're completing Jennings Road right now as we speak. Hillcrest and Riverside will start in a couple months. Maryland Drive and Wrinkle Court will start in June. And at the end of fall of 2025, the city will have spent $20,467,000 on residential street. Capital investments in the marina. From 2020 to 2025, more than $1 million has been invested in the Rossford Marina. That includes the kayak and the paddleboard launch. We've extended the docks on B and C dock by 5 additional feet. We did the concession stand, restroom, shower facility for Veterans Park. There's a new pump out station, new kayak rental kiosk, and this year, at the end of the summer, we'll be installing a new solar lighted pathway that goes along the river at Vets Park. So more than $1 million has been invested in the marina in the last 5 years. We've also had some capital investment partnerships. This past year, the bridge over I-75 on Lime City Road was replaced in the fall of 2024. This project was just under $8 million, with the city's share of that only being $348,000. The city partnered with several entities on this project: ODOT, Perrysburg Township, Penta Career Center, and the Wood County Port Authority. What's in store for this year? We have more residential road projects coming up. We're going to finish Jennings Road. That's a complete reconstruction with new water lines, sewer lines, storm lines, curbs, and sidewalks. Maryland Drive will be a drainage and pavement improvement project, and it will begin the week of June the 3rd. Hillcrest and Riverside is a complete reconstruction with new water lines, sewer lines, and storm lines, curbs and sidewalks. That'll begin later this summer. Colony Road at the Long-Legged Bridge. This is a complete reconstruction with new storm lines and culvert repairs. Rinker Court is a drainage and pavement improvement project that will begin later this summer. In addition, we have the pedestrian hybrid beacons that will be going into downtown at the crosswalks. These are the flashing large red lights similar to what you see on Wooster Street in front of Bowling Green State University. This is a $600,000 project, of which the city got funded $544,000 through a grant. We'll be doing the building addition and the move of the Public Works facility all out to Wales. We are doing that so that the Public Works facility here at 133 Osborne Street can be converted to more space for the police and fire divisions. We also have the demolition of the former Indian Hill School up this summer, and that's actually on the agenda as an ordinance tonight. We also have some safety services joint ventures. We have a joint venture with Perrysburg Township on a first responder drone. This will be deployed from the roof of the R building, and it can be deployed by the dispatcher, and it can arrive on scene minutes before our officers can arrive on scene, and it makes it much safer for our officers so they can be aware of what they're getting into. There's a nice video of this on the city website. We also have an additional joint venture with Perrysburg Township on an interdiction team, which is dedicated to preventing retail theft, drug trafficking, and credit card fraud along Route 20 and I-75. Capital investments for the year 2025 and 2026, the roundabout at State Route 65 and Bergen Street, which has a price tag of $2.6 million. We are partnering with ODOT on this project, and the number one reason for the roundabout at State Route 65 and Bergen Street is to create a safer crossing for students. If you've ever been at Dogs getting an ice cream at the time that school lets out, you'd be amazed at the number of kids that just dash across State Route 65 as it exists today in 4 lanes. It's very dangerous. This will create safer crossings for the students. It will also allow for development of the north end of State Route 65. It will create a pedestrian-friendly space and a walkable downtown, and it will bring a destination-type feel to downtown Rossford. Also on board for 2025 and 2026 is the roundabout at Buck and Glenwood Roads. We are partnering with the Ohio Department of Transportation, Wood County Port Authority, the Wood County Engineer, and Perrysburg Township. The price tag on this roundabout is $2.9 million. And the thing about this roundabout and why it is so necessary is because not only, if you're there about 7 to 8 o'clock in the morning, not only do we have students traveling this corridor to the west to go to Penta, we have students traveling this corridor to the east to go to Owens. We have semi-trucks coming out of Ampoint. We also have FedEx trucks coming out of Ampoint, and everybody that's coming in and out of the True North, the Wendy's, or the Tim Hortons. So this roundabout will be a much safer intersection, be much safer for anybody traveling this intersection. Developing the north end of State Route 65 into the future. If you look on the left-hand side, those 2 pictures are Harmon's development. It's empty. It's about 50 acres, I believe, and it can be developed, and people have indicated to us that the issue with it not being developed thus far is there's a problem with that intersection at State Route 65 and Glenwood and Bergen. So we will be able to develop the north end, this acreage, and we've also had several businesses that are currently at the north end of State Route 65 that have indicated that they will expand should we be able to fulfill the actual plan for the downtown corridor. So developing the north end into the future is more economic development for the city of Rossford and more dollars into our general fund to fund police, fire, and residential streets. Downtown development, we have a great plan for downtown. Lots of new pedestrian walkways. We have the new Pocket Park. If you look down there, there's a lot of activity going on right now at the Pocket Park. We hope to have it ready for the first stroll of street at the end of May. We're going to do improvements with the pavement and the cement and the sidewalks, and it'll be more walkable, more friendly, and more safe downtown. Since we have students in our downtown, we have pedestrians attending all of the businesses in downtown. We also have the Dora in downtown. So making it as safe and welcoming as possible is what our focus is. The key takeaways for Rossford 2025 and beyond. Rossford is a leader in Northwest Ohio and the state of Ohio in economic development. Rossford is continuing to attract and retain businesses, which will increase our general fund revenues, which fund safety and services. And at the end of the day, we want the best police, fire, and public works and services for our community and our citizens as possible. Rossford is committed to providing outstanding safety and services to our citizens. Rossford is working to revitalize our downtown, making it safer for students, pedestrians, and patrons. And Rossford is working to become a destination in Northwest Ohio where people can come to live, work, and play. Any questions that you would have on anything that I presented tonight, please contact me. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Allison. Great job.
Thank you, Mayor.
Let's not rest or get distracted. Let's keep the momentum going. One of the ways we can do that, and it's vitally important, is May 6th, we have a renewal levy coming up for the school district. This will be the third time that they've lowered the millage. You can't have a great city without a great school district, and you can't have a great school district without a great city. Let's keep it going. Let's put the pedal to the metal. Let's turn the volume up, and let's keep moving forward. Mr. Watchell, is there any correspondence?
No correspondence, Mayor.
Okay, introduction of ordinances. Is there a motion to read ordinance 2025-30 by title only?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor of reading by title only, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 2025-30 is an ordinance amending supplemental number 8, the annual appropriation measure for the year beginning January 1, 2025, and ending December 31, 2025, passed by ordinance 2024-79. This is a first reading.
Chris?
Yeah, so this is the CDB contribution for the Balloon and Fireworks Fest that council approved via ordinance 2025-20.
You can do this with an appropriation, right?
You can with 4.
You can.
We can, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Move to suspend the second and third readings.
Second.
Does anyone in the audience have a problem with us passing this evening, or any questions in regards to it? No.
All those in favor of suspending with the second and third reading, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Move adoption.
Second.
Vote on the motion to adopt ordinance 2025-30. Eckel?
Aye.
Tinney?
Aye.
Owen?
Aye.
Toth?
Aye.
Is there a motion to read ordinance 2025-31 by title only?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor of reading by title only, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 2025-31 is an ordinance authorizing the award of a contract for the demolition of the former Indian Hill School and declaring an emergency. This is a first reading.
Allison?
This is to award the lowest bid for the demolition of Indian Hill School.
Okay. I can just let you know that I have, since we acquired this property and this site, I've shown it to everybody that I can possibly think of, in just about every industry you could possibly think of. And there is just no repurposing it. There just isn't. It'd be millions and millions of dollars. And the sooner we get it down, the sooner we can improve that site. Looks like we don't have a lot of choices, but it's 54 acres of beautiful mature trees. There are some existing trails there that we could spruce up. And we'll have a beautiful urban forest, basically at the epicenter of our community. So I would encourage council to get this passed. Go ahead.
Just want to comment on that. If anyone has experience refurbishing trails, reach out to us because we need that expertise to try to get that done. I can't suspend the next reading because we don't have enough people, right?
That's true.
Okay.
Okay. Any resolutions this evening?
None.
All right, council remarks. Mr. Toth.
I've got nothing tonight, Mr. Mayor.
Mrs. Eckel?
Congratulations to the fire department. It's cool to see you in the news all the time. But for the training and the experience at Danny's, it's interesting because we had a CPR AED training at Arcadis on Thursday. And then, then this happened. So it's just great that you're doing that. And it's great that Danny's is aware and has the AED on site. And makes it that much of a safer place to come eat.
The timing was unbelievable.
Yeah.
They had just finished 2 days of training CPR and what's the word I'm looking for, Chief? Defibrillator? Is that? AED. AED.
You're right, it's kudos to Danny for putting their employees, because they had to bring them in and stuff like that. But Ellison allowed us to do it and then bring people in and train them, so it worked out great.
Yeah,
It
that's
did.
very cool.
Mrs. Tinney?
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Owen.
Special mention to the AAFC Patriots. That team is made up about 50% of 7th and 8th grade girls from Rossford, and they won their first tournament.
All right, congratulations.
Good job.
Audience remarks. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor of adjourning, please say aye.
Aye.